I'm finally back for the second time. I know I've said this before, but every time I've come to record, the battery is either dead. So I am finally second time back. I want to recap how I became a contractor and talk about some of the detailed things that I did to start this adventure. Obviously, I'm 6 months in, and it's not as if I've got years under my belt, but this little bit, I want to use this as an encouragement and insight into what you could decide for yourself going from a permanent role to contracting, decreasing that need of control for a little bit more of trust and a bit of faith in my case as well. So let's fast forward to the end of last year. I handed my notice to become a contractor, and in that 3 months notice period, I did a lot of work, a lot of groundwork of networking, CV, portfolio, emails, phone calls. If you're going to decide to quit, you need some sort of experience or some sort of insight into how it's going to play out. The first thing I would suggest is update your CV, update your portfolio to make sure that that's all good. And don't be afraid of getting some input. If it doesn't make sense, then you need to know as soon as possible. Run it past family, run it past friends, run it past colleagues, if that's possible, because sometimes you don't want them to know that you're kind of shifting on. Get as much insight and input as possible to get it into a good state. Then submit it to all job sites that you can find. There will be specific job sites for UX in my experience. So UX stands for user experience. It's about a strategy or a flow of a user's journey and breaking that down to be as simple as possible and to be as delightful as possible through things like visual design of that and the interactions that happen along that line as well. I was doing a bit of a crazy thing, jumping from front-end development. So again, front-end is website builders or web app builders. They specifically focus on the visual design of it and the interaction of the user there. So I was moving from front end to UX, and I wanted to get to know how hard is that going to be. So I contacted lots of specifically contract recruiters on LinkedIn. Some of them would contact me because they saw my CV was online, and I set my settings to be looking for contract roles. So you're probably going to have some conversations that are a little bit negative, but majority of them are going to be positive. So find the people that are excited that you're trying something new and want to kind of go along with you, or at least help you out along this journey, because they are taking a little bit of a cut of your day rate anyway. So they are benefiting from you becoming a contractor or becoming someone looking for a new job. They benefit too. So don't feel bad about that. Just, yeah, understand that sometimes they will say some things to power play, or at least in my opinion that's happened, to make you feel like you're not worth the same rate, or to make you feel like, oh, you're gonna have a tough time, when actually you won't. You might have some kind of gaps, but you won't necessarily have a tough time. That one recruiter is one recruiter of many recruiters. So as long as you contact lots of recruiters, you're putting out lots of seed, and hopefully some of those or lots of those will come back good. So in that 3 month period, contact as many recruiters as you can, get your CV out to as many job sites as you can, and start, just cultivating that network of individuals. So you'll be applying for contract roles, you'll be doing phone calls to recruiters. Recruiters always want to talk to you for some reason. I'm not sure if that's just to gauge a little bit of your character as well. So you'll be doing lots of phone calls, you'll have lots of missed calls. So if you can, reply to emails mostly, and if there are some voicemails that you like the sound of, then follow those up. A lot of the time they will never tell you what rate it is, they will never really tell you the client or the specifics of the job until you actually speak to them. So you'll have to do some phone calls. But in that conversation as well, make sure that some of the rationale for quitting from permanent to contracting, I was working out what the right thing to say was. So with each recruiter, I would say something slightly different, just to see what kind of response I would get. Obviously, contracting is a higher paid, so when you say, or when you answer them and they're like, why are you becoming a contractor? My answer was very much, I wanted to gain experience to build my own agency, and contracting was the step towards doing that. And I felt that answer sat better rather than saying even something as truthful as you don't like your previous job, it wasn't exciting enough, or you want more money. Any of those kind of answers that are a bit materialistic are frowned upon. So find that answer that sits well and be very confident in the phone calls you have. You've got to back yourself. So in the 3 months, do lots of CVs, do lots of job applications, contact as many people on LinkedIn, update your LinkedIn headline to say looking for contract roles, reply to as many messages that come through LinkedIn, and start building that network. My first contract actually came from a random phone call that someone had seen my CV on some job site and they needed to fill someone quite quickly. Next day I was interviewed, that afternoon I got the job. It can happen within 48 hours, so even though it might take a long time, it could also turn around very, very quickly. Within 48 hours, I had my first role, 3-month role at a radiotherapy company on an awesome day rate, $450 a day, which is absurd. I had like doubled my wages just like that in 48 hours. I recognize it's not all about income level, but that does definitely enable you to use your influence and use your resources to give back. So like I may have mentioned before, I am in the middle of talking about a scholarship or a named scholarship, but with my old university, but it actually got changed into an award, like a cash prize. So in September, I will go up to Nottingham Trent University to do a presentation to the first year computer science students and say, hey, my name's Dan, I've done this journey, I'm now a contractor. I am going to give an award or 3 awards to the subsets or the subgroupings of that branch of computer science for the most improved student. And then at the end of first year, we'll give those prizes. And then for the next year, I will be able to mentor those kids, which is hopefully awesome. And I'll do that hopefully for the next 10 years, which will be great. So this is a little snapshot of the starting journey. I will do more videos like this of the detail. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.